Now we have the latest on a late-night fire near Asheville. Hear what investigators say sparked the blaze. And we're breaking down newly released body cam footage of a distracted driving Amish buggy accident caused by a sheriff's deputy. Plus, our community comes together, donating over 9 tons of food to Jamestown's only soup kitchen.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, an overloaded power strip is blamed for sparking a residential fire in southern Chautauqua County late last night. At around 10 o'clock, the Asheville Fire Department and several other departments for mutual aid responded to a structure fire at 4926 Stoneledge Road in Asheville. After extinguishing the blaze, the Sheriff's Office fire investigation team was requested to the scene to determine the fire's cause and origin. Investigators found that the fire started due to an overloaded electric power strip inside the residence. Luckily, no one was injured as a result of the fire. Police in Jamestown are continuing their crackdown on illegal drugs with a recent arrest that resulted in the seizure of meth and a pistol. Last week, officers with the Jamestown Police Department pulled over Stephen Glover Sr.'s vehicle in the area of Genesee Street and Livingston Avenue. Police said Glover was allegedly in possession of a quantity of methamphetamine, a digital scale, and a .357 revolver. He was then taken into custody and charged with several crimes, including criminal possession of a controlled substance, criminally using drug paraphernalia, and criminal possession of a weapon. That's in addition to various traffic tickets in this case. A northern Chautauqua County drug house is once again the subject of a Sheriff's Office narcotics investigation. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant at 7617 Felton Road in the town of Westfield last week. The agency already raided this residence twice this year, on September 8th and the 23rd. Alexis Campbell and Mark Baker were taken into custody at the location, where investigators said they found a quantity of methamphetamine, fentanyl, clozapam, drug paraphernalia, U.S. currency, and 4 long guns. Campbell and Baker face several charges, including criminal possession of a controlled substance. Now, those who may suspect illegal narcotics distribution within their neighborhoods are asked to contact the Sheriff's Office tip line at 716-664-2420. A late-night crash blamed on a Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputy that injured several people riding in an Amish buggy is sparking public concerns about not just the low visibility of slow-moving vehicles, but also now distracted driving. Alyssa Wright joins us live in studio today with more on the newly released body cam video of this crash. Alyssa?
Sheriff Jim Quattrone spoke to us one-on-one to break down the moments leading up to that crash on October 30th and warn drivers to keep their eyes on the road, learning from a real-world example involving Deputy Dylan Pratt.
It was an accident that happened back in October that the Erie County Auditor had foiled, rightfully foiled and placed on his YouTube page. And actually he pointed out the fact that distracted driving could cause accidents, and that any of us could be victims of that.
After the body camera footage was posted online, Sheriff Quattrone feels the public is not seeing the full picture.
The last few seconds of the video is what people were seeing, and they were seeing the view from the camera. Not necessarily seeing the view from the officer driving the car. And he was very honest. He had looked down at his mobile data terminal to see where the next call that he was responding to was located, and took his eyes off the road for a split second.
Since the crash, the sheriff is doubling down the importance of staying safe on the road.
We need to continue to learn from the distracted driving. I'm happy to say that the Children's Safety Village in Asheville has a distracted driving simulator now, which is they've been going to different schools, and we are working currently with the director there to set up where we can have our officers go through that simulator as well.
Even with precautionary measures, buggies like these can be difficult to spot at night.
Unfortunately, this past couple of years we've had an increased number of car and Amish buggy accidents in that general area. That was actually the second one involved in that within a couple months.
In the end, the sheriff tells us drivers should take care to keep their eyes on the road and be on the lookout for those slow-moving vehicles. Because Deputy Pratt was so honest and upfront about his mistake, he remains on the job. The family in the buggy have since been released from the hospital following the accident. Live in studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you very much. Well, your wallet is likely taking a hit this holiday season, but prices at the pump, they're now providing some relief. Gas prices have dropped again to a 15-month low now. AAA reporting the average cost for a gallon of gas is now $3.14 nationwide. That's 18 cents lower than the previous week and 60 cents lower than a month ago. Here in New York State, the average price as of Monday is $3.49 a gallon. At home, Chautauqua County's average is $3.69 and Cattaraugus County is at $3.63 a gallon. 19 states have an average gas price now under $3 a gallon, including Minnesota, Ohio, and Colorado. Certainly good news for some of those who maybe plan to travel. However, as we transition now to our first defense weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson, this week, a crucial travel week, isn't shaping up to be one of the best in Christmas history here, Andrew.
If you want to get your traveling done tomorrow and Wednesday would be the perfect travel days, because we're going to get into another storm system as we head into Thursday and the end of the week. Thursday looks like it's going to be an all rain, but as a system moves across the northeast, a cold front is going to plow through the region on Friday. That's going to bring area-wide snowfall. It's going to bring in colder temperatures, possibly the chilliest air we've seen all season, and will set up lake effect snow as we head into the weekend. So get your travel done early, get your Christmas shopping done early in the week, because by the time the weekend comes around, Old Man Winter is going to bring some snow for Christmas. Let's take a live look at Mayville. We still have snow showers out there. And as you can see in First Defense Doppler radar, the lake effect snow is beginning to weaken. You see it weakening off over the past few hours. That lake effect snow will continue to weaken through the rest of the afternoon, leading to high pressure building in for tomorrow and Wednesday. So for a beautiful, at least beautiful through midweek. Not a lot of sunshine though. The high yesterday was 25 degrees, the low was 22. The record high was 58 degrees set back in 1957, and the record low was -1 set back in 1901. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, mostly cloudy skies, a few occasional snow showers, but those snow showers will begin to taper off through the rest of the afternoon. And we'll go with the high 20s at the hilltops to lower 30s at the lower elevation. Now we did get some snow over the weekend. I'll have those snowfall accumulations from this past weekend coming up in full weather in just a few minutes, Justin.
All right, Andrew, we will see you back in just a little bit. As we roll along this half hour, a look at efforts to crack down on child medicine shortages here in New York State. And later, our community breaking a record, donating over 9 tons of food to the St. Susan Center in Jamestown. More behind the Holiday Hall's success. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be back after this.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than Dwyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on Dwyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. Dwyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on the Federal Drug Administration to investigate why there are spot shortages of some of over-the-counter medicine for children. With cases of COVID-19, the flu, and RSV surging across the country, some parents are finding it increasingly difficult to find acetaminophen, ibuprofen, and other medicines to help alleviate their children's symptoms. Schumer held a press conference in New York City on Sunday to address this issue.
The bottom line is that kids should not have medications like Tylenol or Motrin or Robitussin on their Christmas lists. They should have much better things than that.
Schumer went on to say the shortage should be temporary, however, as supplies increase. Well, 2 buses carrying migrants from the southern border arrived in New York City Sunday, and more are on the way today. In a memo sent to City Council, Mayor Eric Adams said he expects 10 to 15 more buses will arrive in the next few days, including this one early this morning. The mayor says the expected lifting of Title 42 later this week will likely result in more migrants coming to the Big Apple. The Trump-era policy had allowed the United States to expel millions of migrants trying to cross the border during the pandemic. Well, last week, Governor Kathy Hochul signed a bill into law impacting the sale of animals in pet stores. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein is breaking down what this legislation does and hearing from advocates about what the impact could have.
Advocates who have for years been pushing for legislation to cut off the puppy mill pipeline in New York finally get to see their dream come true. Yesterday, Governor Kathy Hochul signed the puppy mill bill, making the sale of cats, dogs, and rabbits at retail pet stores illegal.
The ability to prohibit the sales of these animals in those retail outlets will have a profound impact on this industry as a whole nationwide.
Ketzer says large puppy mills are primarily located in Midwestern states where animals are repeatedly bred from a very young age throughout their lives. The pets are also often subject to improper veterinary care, food supply, and socialization. He says some animals are housed in cages no larger than the size of a small dishwasher. Ketzer says that New York is a large market for the commercial breeders who operate puppy mills. And while this legislation doesn't stop the operation of the puppy mills, it does hurt them financially. And some lawmakers think that this legislation will have an even bigger effect. State Assemblywoman Linda B. Rosenthal says New York will serve as a role model for other states to prevent cruelty to animals. Ketzer says his 2 dogs, Geezer Butler and Jack, and his cat Abraham, are excited about this victory for their 4-pawed friends.
Not only are they over the moon with the passage of this legislation and the governor's signature, they had faith in the governor from day one.
In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Well, tensions remain high in the Pennsylvania House as the fight over the majority continues there. Democrats won 102 seats on November 8th, but after 3 vacancies, Republicans technically have more House members who should lead the lower chamber until the special elections determine the balance of power are up in the air. Additionally, who should order a special election to fill these seats? Also is uncertain now and is now the basis for litigation in the state's courts. Even though there are no signs of reconciling anytime soon, experts say House leaders need to straighten things out in order to get work done for the people of PA.
I mean, this is serious stuff. You need to get appropriations bills to the committees. You need to have hearings. You need to start marking this stuff up, right? I mean, you need to have the gears move.
Now, the session reconvenes in Harrisburg on January 3rd, which is when state lawmakers will have to elect a Speaker of the House. Both caucuses are currently tied with 101 members, but 3 special elections in Allegheny County are expected to give Democrats a clear majority for the first time in over a decade. It's still not clear when those elections will be held, by the way. Well, coming up, our Washington, D.C. correspondent is breaking down a report outlining the government's pandemic response missteps. And later, we're counting the results of a record donation by the Jamestown community, helping the St. Susan's Center here locally. But first, when we return, Andrew joins us once again with a full look at our weather forecast and when things could get a little dicey just ahead of the Christmas holiday. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
Please, give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
it's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please,
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
There are two silver linings here. One, that no injuries were reported, and two, they were able to contain the fire from spreading further.
Western New York has a new congressional member representing them.
One of the things that made Betty White so unique was the fact that she connected generations of fans throughout the decades. Take a look at the display here.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Events Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now at noon. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we have a high of 23 degrees at the Jamestown Airport with a couple of snow flurries flying out there. West wind of 13 miles per hour, but that west wind gives us a feel-like temperature wind chill of 11 degrees, so it is definitely chilly out there. Here's some of the snowfall totals from over the weekend. Now these totals run from Saturday through early this morning. You can see the big winner was Eden up in Erie County. That's actually where most of the snow fell, with most of the areas in southern Erie County saw near 2 feet of snow, Eden at 22.2. In Chautauqua County, Silver Creek was the winner with just over a foot of snow. Dunkirk had 6.5, Fredonia at 6.3, and the farther south you go, Jamestown had just about 1.5 inches at the Jamestown Airport over the weekend. Let's take a look at what's happened across the northeast. Those lake effect snow bands continue to stream off the Great Lakes, but they will diminish through the afternoon and into night as high pressure to the south will build in. That's going to provide dry weather through at least tomorrow and into Wednesday. Let's time out Future Look, what we have for the next 48 hours, at least for the rest of the afternoon. Future Look shows those lake effect snow bands slowly diminishing through the rest of the afternoon and into the night. Tonight we'll see maybe a few flurries out there, but mostly cloudy skies through the rest of the night. As high pressure begins to build in tomorrow, that's going to end the snow showers. That's going to try to bring some sunshine in the area, but I think the clouds will rule out through the day tomorrow. It's showing more sunshine than I think we will get into tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies should be with us on Wednesday as high pressure moves across the region, but as we go into the rest of the weekend, well, rest of the week I should say, another system is going to impact the week towards the end of the week into the weekend. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, mostly cloudy skies, occasional snow showers, temperatures in the upper 20s at the hilltops to lower 30s at the lower elevation. As we head into the night, mostly cloudy skies once again, a few flurries early on in the evening, but the rest of the night should be dry, near 20 in the valleys to upper 20s at the lakeshore. Now the next 7 days brought to you by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Tomorrow and Wednesday, I should say, looking dry out there, more clouds than sun each day. Around 32 degrees tomorrow, upper 30s on Wednesday. Now that storm system will begin to impact the region on Thursday. It looks like Thursday is going to be a mainly rain event, but strong cold front, as I said earlier, is going to plow by the region on Friday. We'll have early temperatures in the 40s, but look where the temperatures going to next week and Christmas weekend. We're talking about mid-teens and lake effect snow. This is definitely going to be the chilliest air we've seen so far this season. How much snow we get will be determined as the week goes on, Justin.
Certainly, Andrew. Santa Claus definitely going to have to bundle up. Thank you very much. Well, here's some headlines from around the nation now, and 6 people are dead, including the suspect, and 1 person hurt after a shooting in North Toronto. York Regional Police say officers were responding to a weapons call for multiple victims Sunday night. The police chief, Jim Mesqueen, says the suspect was killed in an altercation with officers. It's not known at this time what led to the shooting. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic devastated communities. More than 1 million of Americans have died. Businesses closed their doors, and we're still recovering from the impact. A congressional investigation has unveiled a slew of issues with the federal response to the pandemic. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
We were not adequately prepared, and there wasn't a coordinated action with the speed necessary. And basically, lives were lost. So this can't happen again.
Michigan Senator Gary Peters, who chairs the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee, investigated the federal response to the pandemic. And in a massive 242-page report, it outlines a whole host of challenges. Like in the early months of the pandemic, the CDC's surveillance missed at least half of the cases that came into the country, which resulted in false assurances to the American people that there was no community spread in the U.S.
Many of the organizations that were set up to help us get through a pandemic were simply not even funded. They didn't have the resources that they needed. The CDC was relying on a test that was not up to the task. And yet they continued to use that test, and we weren't able to get testing out into the field as quickly as we needed to.
And communication was a problem. The report says contradictory and inadequate communication left people confused and unclear on what to do. The report says the White House required approval of all telebriefings, media requests, and guidance documents, resulting in lengthy delays of critical health guidance and restricting the CDC's ability to share info with the public. The report also includes remedies to these issues.
But another issue that I will be particularly focused on is how do we onshore? How do we bring back critical manufacturing of critical medical supplies as well as other kinds of goods that are necessary to get through a crisis? We have to make it in the United States. Those jobs have to be in the United States.
Peter says with the pandemic still fresh in our minds, the time is now to fix these issues.
And it would be absolutely irresponsible for us not to implement the lessons we learned in this pandemic to prevent the next one from being as catastrophic as the one we just had to go through.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. You can find that full report of the investigation as well as a brief summary of it on our website, WNYNewsNow.com. Well, the national menorah was lit just after sunset yesterday in the nation's capital. The ceremony was held on the ellipse in front of the White House. It marks the first night of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. Each night a candle will be lit until all 8 are lit up on the final night of Hanukkah. Among the participants at this year's lighting ceremony was Attorney General Merrick Garland.
Together, we must stand up against the disturbing rise in anti-Semitism. And together, we must stand up against bigotry in any of its forms. Our democracy depends on it.
Hanukkah ends on the evening of December 26th. Well, coming up next, the Holiday Haul sees a record number of donations this year. Hear how all of this is benefiting Jamestown's only soup kitchen, the St. Susan Center.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Something more than a birthday is happening here.
Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The Jamestown community came together to raise money and donations for the area's only soup kitchen, the St. Susan Center. Julia Gress is breaking down the record donations that came in from across the community.
Known as the Holiday Haul, Keith Martin and local basketball coach Dan Keefe are amongst those behind the annual charitable effort, now a decade in the making. Since day one, donations were easy to find.
We were hoping for a couple $1,000s, a couple thousand pounds, and that was the first year we ended up 3.5 tons and $9,000.
Since then, each year the drive has grown. This year, donations yielded over 9 tons of food for the St. Susan Center. For Executive Director of St. Susan Center, Sherry Rowland, the donations could not have come at a better time.
We're seeing on the average of 120 folks a day, and we've seen as high as 200 in a day, and we've seen here in the last couple of days around 150 to 160.
I think that the community realizes and feels the pinch at home about putting food on their own table, but realize that they're blessed to be able to put food on the table.
The record haul will keep the soup kitchen going through March or April.
We are so thankful to every single person that drops donations off, that helps us monetarily.
Now that the holiday haul is over, members of St. Susan's will have their work cut out for them organizing.
There's going to be about 2.5 weeks of sorting, and then we will get it all put back into our pantry.
Not only does the center provide warm meals for those in need, they also emphasize becoming a healthy community by bringing people together.
We're only out there a couple hours, these couple days of the year, but St. Susan's work is 365 days a year, and the people that work at St. Susan's and what they do and what they give people is so special, and they do it day in and day out.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Now, Andrew, $21,000 was also raised for the soup kitchen. That will help purchase perishable items like milk when they are needed. So you talk about records being set. 10 years of anything, I think, is remarkable, let alone a fundraiser. And to be able to raise that much bulk of food and that much money, too, is remarkable. And I think, as they mentioned, the need is at an all-time high here locally.
I think the community knows that people are struggling, so it sounds like they really turned down full force this year to help serve those less than fortunate.
Yeah, certainly. And when you look at some of the causes that I think you can give to, St. Susan's has that immediate impact, right? There's a lot of places around the holidays, it's the time of giving, and they're like, hey, donate to us. But at St. Susan's, the money is immediately used in many cases to buy that food if they don't have it, or things like milk, and give it out. And of course, the canned goods, right? There's so many of us who probably have extra cans in our cupboard somewhere that you purchased 6 months ago, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? So it's really great to see, nevertheless. Well, that is going to do it for our broadcast today. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. We'll leave you with this live shot over Chautauqua Lake as you see the ice now starting to really take shape. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and in our free mobile app downloaded today in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We'll see you back here tomorrow, live at noon.